Does it look dark? Maybe not that bright. Hey guys, I'm Kashawn and you are watching The Book Archer. Okay, I'm so excited to be back. I can barely contain myself. I can finally film whenever I want to. I have been wanting to post consistent videos for the longest, but I was using my sister's phone to film on. So I got a new phone. I have the iPhone 6. I can film for you guys whenever and I'm so excited. I'm gonna go ahead and jump right into it. Today's video is going to be about my favorite book related memories. I was just thinking about some of the book related stories that I love to tell people. I'm going to try to keep these in chronological order, but then sometimes they might get a little muddled. But these are just some of my favorite bookish memories. My first one would be in elementary school. We had 4 different electives for the month, and it was music, art, PE, and going to the library. Of course, y'all know I used to love the library one. Our librarian, if you were quiet during reading time, you would get an M&M at the end of every day. And yes, I mean an M&M. You would get one M&M, but let me tell y'all, I used to be on my best behavior waiting for that one little M&M. We had story time and we had time to look around the library and pick out the books that we wanted to read. I really loved that it was a mixture of them picking books for us and a mixture of us reading books that we enjoyed, because a lot of other kids don't get to do that. It's usually just like all assigned reading. So I really love the fact that it was a mixture. The main thing I really liked was I used to have a seat, and my seat used to be right beside a bookcase, and that bookcase happened to have a bunch of Boxcar Kid books on there, and that's how I started reading those. My reading level was a few grades above, so I would be trying to look for like all the little chapter books and stuff like that, and that's how I started reading the Boxcar Kids. I used to love reading those books during that week in the library. They had the best mysteries, and that's when like Goosebumps and stuff was really popular, so I was really into those. I used to love that series, so I would literally look forward to it throughout the month. So I'd be like, okay, when it's time to go to the library, I know I'm going to be able to read the Boxcar Kids. So I just really like that I always had these positive influences and these positive connotations with reading from such an early age. This is like top 2 favorite book related bookish memories like ever. Every summer, my dad would have a summer reading contest or a summer reading program for me and my sister. Now, a lot of you know about these. They do them at like local libraries and stuff a lot, where they have the kids come in. You can sign up. If you read a certain amount of books, then you get some prize. If you read a certain amount of pages, then you get some prize. But my dad used to make these lists for us, and they would be so personalized. He knew what we liked. He knew the things that we were interested in. And it definitely motivated me to read during the summer. Like, I used to be getting so excited about summer vacation so I could spend my summer reading books. And I guess that was his whole point, because my dad is not the big reader of the family. He definitely reads a little bit slower, but he used to take it so serious, the summer reading thing. He would print out these little lists for us to fill in with our reading and stuff. At the end of every week, we would tell him like either a page count or a book count. We would talk about those books. It was like a live version of BookTube before BookTube existed. From elementary to the end of high school, he did it. And I used to love it. And at the end of the summer, I would have all of these great prizes like gift cards and CDs and stuff that I would get. So that is like definitely one of my favorite book related memories. The next one I want to talk about is actually a year. Do you ever just have like look back and be like, that was a great year of reading? Y'all, the 7th grade was like the best year of reading ever. That was my first time in like an advanced English class, so we got to read so much good stuff. That was when we really started reading, like, I think the theme was to read American classics. So that's the years when I read like The Outsiders and To Kill a Mockingbird and like all of those good books. That's the same year that I read Tears of a Tiger by Sharon M. Draper, which a lot of you guys mentioned that y'all read that one too in the comments when I mentioned it in another video. I was loving everything. So not only was we reading all of those classes and things like that, after we read Tears of a Tiger, that's when I discovered Sharon M. Draper. That was my first time ever reading an African American author. I was like, oh my god, they make books with people that look like me. And they were like these raw, heavy, contemporary books about like the most serious topics. And that was the first time I ever found myself enlightened by like a novel. The way that she wrote it made it easy for me to comprehend as a 7th grader. But what was so crazy is we all collectively in my class read those books together. Only Tears of a Tiger was assigned reading, but then we all got obsessed with Sharon M. Draper, and we would literally have a book pass. We would be sharing these books like, okay, I'm reading it, who else is reading it? And it was kind of like our form of kind of like a book club. I would be literally having book conversations with people that I did not even get along with. And that was my first time really seeing how books can bring people together. Also, that year in the 7th grade was the first time that I ever read a dystopian book. I read the entire Uglies trilogy by Scott Westerfeld, and OMG, I thought they were so good. A lot of people don't like that trilogy, but that was like the first time I ever even knew dystopian was a genre. It was very interesting just being introduced to that world, and I immediately liked that genre. 7th grade was a great reading year. So the next bookish memory I want to talk about is book shopping at the end of the year. I am a frequent library goer. Like when I read books, the majority of them I get from the library. I used to only buy the most of my books once a year in December, which is also my birthday month. So for my birthday month and Christmas, and then after Christmas sales. Every single year I would put a Books A Million gift card on my Christmas list. I used to be so excited to go to the bookstore and figure out how I could get the most books for whatever the gift card amount was. The gift card amount was never more than $15 or $20, and y'all, I used to pimp the mess out of that $15 or $20. Listen, I'm about to break this all the way down. There's a bargain section in the backs of Books A Million where they sell books for as cheap as $1.97 up to like $5.97. But right after Christmas, they always do a sale where you can buy 2 books and get the 3rd one free. Y'all, I would get like literally 6 books after Christmas and still have a little bit of money left over, which I would contribute to like new releases in January. I used to love going to Books A Million the week after Christmas and getting all of my books. The next bookish memory would probably be my favorite. Y'all have heard me talk about this one before on this channel. Harry Potter. Harry Potter. I will leave a link to my The Ultimate Harry Potter tag video. That's actually one of my favorite videos that I've ever done. I've had so much fun doing that. So yeah, I will leave a link to when I did that tag. Harry Potter would have to be my favorite bookish memory ever, just because it was so massive. For people who were born after the Harry Potter series came out, or when there were only movies still being released, I don't think that folks understand how massive that book series was. It was bigger than Twilight. It was bigger than The Hunger Games. It was bigger than Percy Jackson. It was huge. J.K. Rowling became a billionaire off of that book series. I'm like, have you ever really thought about that? She became a billionaire off of that book series. Harry Potter has its own freaking theme park. The series was massive, and I think I was maybe in the 3rd grade when the first book came out. I literally waited for those releases up until the last book. That the majority of my childhood, my entire adolescence, was Harry Potter. There was so much Harry Potterness infused because first it was the books and then it was the movies. Younger people on BookTube talk about the Harry Potter series, and then I hear people like my age talk about it, I really wish y'all could understand how massive it was. It was a cultural phenomenon and I loved it. I lived for it. It was so much fun. It was really like a pop culture thing. I just loved being a part of that because I really loved those books. The books were amazing. The movies are great. My whole family watched the movies. I would be that person going to the midnight showings. I would be that person avoiding the spoilers. I would be the person reading those 800-page books in one sitting. To this day, I don't know how I did that. Like, I read Deathly Hallows in one sitting, and I remember having to stop halfway through the book when J.K. Rowling like revealed a plot point. I literally had to sit and stop and like think like, oh my god, how did she connect that from all 7 of these books? I'm really grateful that I not only read those books while they were being released, but before BookTube. Those books were so hyped up. I can't even imagine them coming out during a BookTube era. You could binge read one of the books, but then you would literally have a year or 2 to like sit on it or think about it. That reading experience for me to this day is unparalleled. That wraps up my favorite bookish memories for right now. What are some of you guys' favorite bookish memories? Leave those in the comment section below. I really want to know. I just like hearing about the book related moments that really stick out in people's minds. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at theBookArcher. Thank you to all my new subscribers and all my old subscribers. I love y'all. I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.